Hey, it's Alex from Thomas Hardware. I'm here with Andrew McGovern from IM360. You're LA-based, I guess?
I am LA-based,
So
that's
you came
correct.
all the way up to Toronto, Canada, to the Immersed 3D conference about VR and AR technology. Just to fill in our readers, IM360 is an immersive video content creation company, which actually is an offshoot in partnership with Digital Domain special effects company from a company called Immersive Video. And one of the big things about immersive video is, if you didn't know this, Google worked with them back in the day when they pioneered Street View, and I believe you said that you're one of the first Street View drivers?
That's correct, that's correct. I was one of the original 6 Google Street View drivers. So we worked with, Immersed Media worked with Google for the launch of Street View back in 2006, and we recorded actually the first 35 cities around North America, and I was responsible for Eastern Canada.
So that's pretty cool, you know, little feather to have in your cap. If you think when you grow old, you know, back in the day, it's pretty important.
Hey, you know what? It was a groundbreaking application. It's, you know, Street View is, look at what it's become today. It's one of the most sustainable 360 platforms out there, the ability to capture streets and street level imagery. And, you know, this has been a technology that launched in 2006 that we partnered with Google on, and it's still around today, which is fantastic to see.
Because, I mean, for most people, it was one of their first exposures to 360 captured imagery. So can you talk a little bit about, I mean, how immersive video got into that? Because I understand it was because of military connections is how this technology came about, right?
Originally, the first camera was actually produced in 1994. We released our first spherical video in 1995 at SIGGRAPH in Los Angeles, but really a lot of this platform was based with our work with our military partners in the early 2000s. We worked with a lot of 3-letter agencies, the DoD, CIA, US Army, and we developed a whole platform to enable them to go capture street-level imagery for a lot of situational awareness and mission planning. So we worked with them, we mapped all of Iraq and Afghanistan during the wars, and really worked with them to start to build this platform, which we're now using in a lot of industries.
I mean, it's interesting that, you know, a lot of technological innovation throughout history seems to have been, you know, driven by conflict. And it is also interesting that you wouldn't ever think to associate 360 video and Street View with the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. So it's a little known fact, I guess, that you know, that's the case. I mean, interesting factoid, I guess. So.
Hey, like a lot of great technology has its roots in military. You look at the internet, computers, you know, even the space program. A lot of it was, you know, public-funded, you know, innovation that really kick-started it, and then it kind of grows into more of a private sector, you know, solution or application. VR is, you know, something we're very big into right now with the media and entertainment space.
So before we talk about some of the content creation you guys have done, just a little teaser. These guys won an Emmy.
Yes.
You have some of your camera hardware here. Can you just show us a couple of the actual hardware and just talk a little bit about how you develop this kind of stuff? Because it's interesting in this space that a lot of 360 content creators are not just creating the content, they're creating the pipeline, they're creating the hardware. I mean, why is that the case? Why did you have to, you know, why does this have to be made? Why aren't all the big camera companies, you know, why isn't the Canons and the Nikons and stuff or even in the higher end space like the Panavisions and the Aeroflexes making these products?
I think you're going to start to see this, but one of the key things is you know, this market's very new, especially in virtual reality. So this is only becoming mainstream, and you're starting to see, you know, a lot more companies getting involved in creating cameras. We kind of, out of necessity, have always been from the technology side of building cameras, platforms, ways to distribute and play back this content. But we kind of had to do production services and creating our own content out of necessity because no one else knew how to do it. So we kind of took our technology, you know, for Dodeca, for example, which is one of the first cameras we ever produced, and this is what we used for Street View and with the military, and started to go produce our own content, you know, film the streets, go out and do the shoots for, you know, the Taylor Swifts, etc.
So moving into the sort of content creation side of things at the IM360, you guys have been working with a number of different partners, artists. And can you talk a little bit about some of your more recent work that people may have already experienced or should go out and experience right now?
Absolutely. We're doing, always we're releasing a lot of exciting projects. One of them was the Emmy Award-winning Taylor Swift experience that we did in partnership with American Express, Taylor Swift, and Radical Media. We also just released a project with Nike called the Neymar Jr. Effect. It's available on YouTube today, and essentially you become Neymar Jr. as he's playing soccer, and you actually become him. You can look down, see his body. It's a very interactive virtual experience, and we have a lot of other exciting projects in the pipeline that are going to be releasing in the coming months.
Now, I did ask a couple more questions. Is that I noticed that a lot of the content that seems to be created is either advertising or promotional in its nature, and obviously from a financial perspective and many other reasons why that's happening. But when do you think we're going to start seeing more long-form narrative using this medium? And not to go into great detail, what do you think some of the biggest challenges are for filmmakers creating narrative content in 360?
A lot of it is fundamentally, how do you tell a story? And when your audience can look around in 360 degrees, it's very different than how you would tell a story with traditional media such as film and television. And what we're doing at IM360 is we're actually actively going out and funding original IP or original content that's really innovating in the whole storytelling space. So we're actively going out and funding and creating our own short story films. We released a joint venture with Roddenberry Entertainment this year, which is the studio behind Star Trek, and where we're starting to work with them on creating short format virtual reality content.
So just to wrap it up, just to tell our viewers what can they expect from you next? What's the next thing in the pipeline that they might get to see?
I think we have.
You can share?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have a lot of exciting stuff technology-wise that is coming out, which are going to provide, better ways to go capture and create content for a lot of our content partners. Other great ways we can experience, virtual reality content. And then from the content side specifically, we have a lot of great projects on the short format side that will be coming out in the coming months that I think are really going to push the boundaries of how people tell stories in virtual reality.
Well, thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
This is Alex from Tom's Hardware at Immersed 2015. Just been talking to Andrew from IM360. Thanks for watching.